Welcome to Campfire Wisdom. Grab a seat around the fire and tell us your story.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Campfire Wisdom. Today is Sunday. It's November 19th. It is several days before Thanksgiving, and I thought it'd be kind of cool just to kind of connect with you guys a little bit more, I guess on a personal level, especially with a holiday coming up. Sometimes it's nice to have stuff that's relevant, and I was actually going to release an episode with a camping trip that I did back in September. So it's going to be one of those weeks where I'm going to actually drop two. Ooh, how about that? Yay. But I wanted to pay special attention to some things that have been going on in my world, because it kind of informs my journey and informs a lot about who I am and who I will become. And as a lot of you know, my girlfriend and I have been going through the process of IVF. So in the spirit of Thanksgiving, there is some news to share along those lines, and at the same time, kind of a lot of things to be thankful for. On Saturday, we were able to get 29 eggs from our donor, and I gave them my sperm sample, and we were able to fertilize 23 of those 29 eggs. So I know a lot of you have heard me talk about the entire IVF process in some of the previous episodes, but we are nearing the end of it, and I'm very thankful for that. I'm also very thankful to Gisela, who has submitted her body to trial and tribulation over and over again. I love you, and I'm so thankful that you're in my life. On Wednesday of this week, we will do the transfer. And the transfer basically is they will take the best of those fertilized eggs, and we are transferring one egg at this time, and they're going to put that one egg back inside of Gisela with the hopes of that attaching and taking root and growing into a baby. So very excited and very thankful that we are in this final stage, and I look forward to sharing that journey with you guys along the way. Again, as you know, if you've been listening, it kind of informs a lot of what's going on, because when you realize you're going to be a dad, you audit your life, you take a look at things, you're more bold, and I think you're also more decisive. So maybe that's something we can share. If you have any input on that, I'd love to hear it. So I talk a lot about escapes, and I talk a lot about reconnecting with the way that life was in the past and simplifying our life. And just in hanging out with my friends and kind of going through this whole journey right now, I'm realizing that there are so many different ways that each of us disconnect, and each of us find comfort in different ways. And with it now going into November, and to be honest, a lot of the campsites are closing down, and or it's going to be getting cold. I personally love the cold, but I think it might be more difficult to find good campsites, and also to get people to want to meet me out at those campsites. So I'm trying to do something a little bit different, but yet stay in integrity, and at the same time offer something that we can all get something out of. So we're going to be exploring a little bit more about how just disconnecting in different ways is also another way to kind of find solace, and again, finding that simplification. I wanted to share like a really cool story with you guys that happened to me the other day. My girlfriend Gisela and I, we were at Starbucks, and I was getting a coffee drink on Wednesday. It was my birthday, so Starbucks gives you a coffee drink. You know, I'm no fool, so I'm gonna go get a free drink. And while we were there, the place was packed. I mean, there was a lot of like dead space in the area, but most of the tables were taken. People were on their laptops using Wi-Fi. People just kind of, getting their drinks in their world, doing their thing. Well, the power goes out, and it's crazy. The lights go out. Obviously they can't use the espresso machine, so they're trying to find different ways that they can make drinks for people. I was actually one of the lucky ones, and I got my drink before it actually crashed, which was kind of cool. But it was interesting in that moment. The people that were on the computers looked up, and there was like this awkward silence. And for me, it was kind of interesting because in that moment, we everyone who was in the room all of a sudden had one thing in common. And that thing in common was that we were experiencing a power outage as opposed to all being in our own worlds with our devices. So, and I was kind of waiting there. I was like, wow, this is kind of awkward. And Geese made fun of me. She's like, oh, only because you just said that, which it was kind of interesting that we were all kind of basically forced to share that moment. It lasted about 10 minutes. The lull was maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and then people just kind of got comfortable with it. But it took like that jolt to like really kind of, I don't know, just kind of shake people up in a moment. And again, I might be reading way too much into that, but I'm very, this is on my mind, this whole idea of like how technology basically is all around us and how it basically interweaves itself into our lives. So when it broke, and that was like an opportunity for all of us to kind of like look around and actually maybe engage each other. And actually some of the people at the table were talking. I was joking around with some of the girls waiting for drinks, saying like, I'm the lucky one, blah, 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 cheesy, dumb jokes. But it was something that would have not have happened if the power had stayed on. So that prompted me to think, wow, turning the power off. And I know this sounds so stupid, but that night we went to dinner, and obviously when you're going to dinner and you're meeting your friends, you need to kind of coordinate and with text and phone calls and blah, blah, blah. So once everyone arrived at the Red Lion restaurant we were going to, this bomb-ass German place for any of you guys who haven't been there, I turned my phone off. And to be honest, I haven't done that in a long time, and it was an interesting sensation. It was like, I was good because my homies were there, but I had no alternative. I had nothing to occupy my hands. I was forced to focus, and there's a moment where you think, oh, I don't have my phone. But that fades away, and I found myself just really engaged and really involved in what was going on around me, and I liked it. I don't want to get political, but I do want to say thank you to a lot of the women out there right now that are kind of taking on the system, saying fuck you to the man, literally the man. The patriarchy, man. If you don't see it, it's out there. It's legit. It's real. You know what I mean? We would all do a lot better if we understood that it's not a balanced playing field, and I think that's been the case for a long time. So again, I don't want to be like those dudes that just pick something that kind of is, topical. I'm legitimately thankful because we want to have a girl and we want to have a boy and all that kind of stuff. So it's like you're making the world a better place for my daughter down the road, and I thank you for that. So legitimately. Another thing too that I think is absolutely badass that I want to recognize is that obviously Black Friday's coming up. That is the day after Thanksgiving, and REI is doing some really cool stuff. They're actually closing on Black Friday, and of course their campaign is opting outside. So I think as a retailer who relies on business to keep your doors open, that's a ballsy move, and I'm thankful for that because I think it kind of really speaks to the fact that they know that like, hey, look, in this world we need to check out. We need to like get outside and reconnect with what's going on. Otherwise we're doomed. And I know that's a little bit of extreme, sorry. Maybe we're not doomed, but we are challenged. We're challenged if we can't get outside. I mean, and again, we're going to explore more about people's escapes because it's not always just outside. That's what does it for me. That's probably what brings people here if they want to talk about that, and we're going to talk about it. But at the same time, there are other ways that people disconnect and other ways they reconnect with their travel routes, and we'll go through that. But I think that's about it. I don't want to spend too much time thanking every single thing, but I love my friends, love my family, love the support from all of you guys out there. Really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun already, and I'm looking forward to continuing the conversation and bringing you some more, I guess the evolution of what I'm trying to do here. So I couldn't have done any of this stuff without so many different friends and family members and all that stuff. So this journey is our journey, and thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Adios for now. Bye-bye.
Campfire Wisdom is brought to you from the hills of Rancho, Cucamonga. We'd like to thank the men and women that protect our national parks and forests. You make this journey possible. Theme music by Sean Cromwell.